What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I just wanted to give you guys my first impressions on the Droideka update that dropped late last night for me, as there are a couple of positives and negatives to be taken from this update, and I definitely need to get a couple of things off my chest. Taking a look at the update objectively, it was a really good update with some very nice additions, as well as some much needed tweaks to some of the heroes and stuff like that, but despite all of that, I am very underwhelmed for some reason, and I'm going to go into all of that, but I will save that for the end of the video. Before we get started, I'd love to hear what you guys think of the update so far when it comes to all the content and the hero changes. I haven't really had a proper chance to talk to anyone about the update yet, so definitely leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the update. Now, getting into the positive stuff first before we head into the more negative stuff, most of the content and the changes were really nice additions to the game, and like I said, despite a few of the issues that I have with the update, there are so many good things that it is hard to just completely dismiss the entire update. First off, Naboo 4 Capital Supremacy seems really fun and pretty well balanced as well. I really like the layout of the map and the way that they've added a whole lot of debris and crashed vehicles and stuff like that to make it not only seem a little bit more like a war zone, but also to add a lot more cover around the map, which was definitely needed, especially for that middle section of the map. Again, it is just a variation of the GA map, so I can't give too much praise here since there aren't really any drastic changes, but regardless, I do really like the map layout and the feel of the map, so overall that is a positive addition to the game mode. Next up, the TX130 is so much fun to use. I'm not much of a vehicle person, so maybe it's partly to do with it feeling so new and different, but from the playtime I have had with it, it seems like a lot of fun, but also balanced as well, which is something that I was a little worried about with a new vehicle edition. The abilities are unique enough when compared to the AAT, so I think it does freshen it up a little bit, and it does look very nice as well, which is another positive. But with that being said, I'm not at all a fan of vehicles, so we'll just have to see how it goes, because I hope it doesn't become a nuisance in some of the game modes like some of the other vehicles are. Moving on to the clone skins, and these are really well done in my opinion. They definitely didn't need to add these, but it was very clear that the community was crying out for them since the overhaul back in, I think, Feb or March maybe, so it's nice to hear that they are listening to the community and giving a lot of people their favourite skins. The 41st skins look absolutely awesome. They seem to be really accurate to the Revenge of the Sith look, and so I'm definitely pretty pleased with those. And I really love the 212 skins as well. However, I'm definitely not a fan of the skins being shiny or glossy, whatever you want to call it, because as far as I can remember, these skins were matte in the Clone Wars, so why they're glossy I'm not 100% sure, but overall I do still like them. I'm just hoping they'll maybe fix them up to be matte in the next couple of weeks or months. As for the Anakin skin, I think it looks pretty nice, so no real complaints here. I don't really like it as much as Obi-Wan's skin, but yeah, nothing really to complain about here, especially since I don't really use Anakin anyway. Now, lastly for the positive stuff, a lot of the small bug fixes and the hero tweaks that were made were also really great additions to the game. I love the new health on kill cards and the changes to Luke and Finn, so all of the non-content related stuff was really well done in my opinion. Although apparently Chewie's health on kill is still linked to his charge theme, which is a little annoying, but regardless, once all of that is fixed up, I think that those changes are going to be a very big step in the right direction. I'm also not too sure why Finn didn't get a proper health on kill card. In my opinion, he was one of the characters that needed it the most, but yeah, I guess we'll find out whether they do end up deciding to make that change as well. Now, moving on to some of the more negative aspects to this update, and I've got to just start off with the droidekas because holy shit, these things are so weak, it is actually pretty funny. I'm going to put a clip on repeat in the background that pretty much explains exactly what I'm talking about. I was firing away at this ARC Trooper for a good 6 or 7 seconds from pretty close range, landed what felt like 15 or 20 shots, and then the dude just runs off as if he was getting shot with a water pistol. Their damage up close is pretty decent to be honest, but it's almost like once you get more than 10 meters away from your enemy, you just may as well respawn, because I don't know what has happened to their damage drop off, but it seems like it's almost instant to where it goes from being really good to just completely useless. That clip that you just saw explains it pretty much perfectly. I honestly think that if I was using the BX or a B2, I would have killed that guy 2 times over, yet I didn't even manage to kill him at all, and that's instantly something that needs to change. Don't get me wrong, dealing that much damage at range makes perfect sense. I don't think they should have that much range on them at all, but I would consider that to be close range, and I think if they can't do well at close range, then they just really aren't ever going to be a viable option. Now, aside from the damage output, the other main issue is just their vulnerability when they aren't rolling around, because as soon as you find yourself in trouble, you're going to be dead since you can't quickly escape and get into a better defensive position. I've noticed that when you do exit the wheel form and start walking around normally, during that transition phase you're so vulnerable that even some bots can have a chance at killing you before you can actually properly transform and bring up your weapons. And I do understand the droidekas are a lot like that in the movies and in the Clone Wars, but you just can't make characters so vulnerable in a multiplayer game like that, because you're just going to get killed so many times while you are in that transformation phase. Having some sort of damage reduction during that transformation would help out a lot, as well as allowing the shield to pop up a little faster too, because a lot of times you'll actually get killed before the shield pops up, which is super frustrating, and to me that is just not balanced at all. Now, with all of that out of the way though, some more positive notes are that they look and feel absolutely amazing, so it's not all negative. I think they nailed the aesthetics of the Droidicas, and as far as I can tell there aren't any major bugs either, which is definitely something I was very worried about heading into the update. The positive to be taken from all of this is that it's only really their damage stats, maybe some health stats, and some slightly clunky animations that aren't up to scratch, and so all of that is a lot easier to fix than if they came out super buggy and just completely broken. They can just up their damage stats, maybe add some damage reduction during the transformation, and maybe speed up some animations slightly, and after all that they will most likely be very viable and fun characters to play as. So like I said, it could definitely be worse, because if you think back to General Grievous, he was completely broken at launch, and at least they're not that bad. But it all just comes down to whether they do make those changes, as well as how long it actually takes them to be implemented. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. I do apologise that this was a little bit more negative, because you guys know that I do always try and be positive about this game whenever I can, and like I said, the entire update did have a lot of positives, but overall I was just massively let down by the Droidicas. Like I said though, they will most likely make some changes, at least I hope so anyway, and even though I am a little bit disappointed right now, I'm sure once the changes are made they'll be super fun to play as, and hopefully a very nice addition to the game. If you did enjoy the video, guys, make sure to leave a like down below to help support the channel, and like I said, definitely feel free to leave your comments down below with your thoughts on the update so far. I will be making a video later today or tomorrow on my complete thoughts on the Droidicas and how they could maybe fix them to make them a little bit more viable, so keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. If you are new to the channel, then feel free to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any more Battlefront 2 videos or live streams. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I will catch you all in the next one.